The explorers stood at the threshold of the massive temple, the energy in the air thick and electric. Zora Tellus, with the artifact still glowing in her hands, led the crew forward. The ancient world stretched out before them, a place untouched by time, its secrets buried deep within the stone walls. The temple's entrance was wide, yet inviting, as though it had been waiting for them, waiting for this moment. Zora's heart pounded in her chest as they stepped inside. The walls were lined with intricate carvings, depictions of stars, strange beings, and long-forgotten technologies. There was an overwhelming sense that they were not just exploring a ruin, they were unlocking the last chapter of a civilization story. But what that story would reveal, no one could say. As they ventured deeper, the walls seemed to pulse in rhythm with the artifact's hum. The light from the artifact illuminated their path, casting eerie shadows on the ancient stone. Each step forward brought them closer to the heart of the temple, to the place where the final secret would be revealed. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. A low rumble echoed through the halls of the temple, and the artifact in Zora's hands began to glow brighter, its light filling the entire room. The explorers stopped in their tracks, fear and awe gripping their hearts. Then the voice spoke again, but this time it was different. It was clearer, louder, and filled with a sense of urgency. "Seeker of the stars, you have come. You are the chosen. The time has come to restore balance." Zora stepped forward, her voice steady despite the overwhelming power that filled the temple. "We are here to learn. To understand what has been lost." The voice responded, "You are more than explorers. You are the heirs to the knowledge of the ancients. The key you hold is the key to both creation and destruction. Choose wisely, for the fate of the universe rests in your hands." Zora looked down at the artifact, feeling its power surge through her. She could feel the weight of the universe pressing against her chest. The voice spoke of balance, of creation and destruction, and of the immense responsibility they now carried. With a deep breath, Zora placed the artifact on an altar at the center of the temple. The moment it touched the stone, the entire room seemed to come alive. The walls shimmered and the carvings began to move, telling the story of an ancient race that had once ruled the stars. Beings who had mastered the forces of creation and destruction, who had created the machines, the temples, and the pathways that had guided the universe's fate for millennia. As the vision unfolded, Zora saw the fall of that civilization. A civilization that had reached too far too fast, and had ultimately destroyed itself by unlocking forces they could not control. The machine planet, Ishka, had been the final attempt to contain the destructive power they had unleashed. It had been dormant for eons, waiting for the right moment, for the right seekers to awaken it and restore balance. Zora's mind raced as she processed the knowledge flooding her thoughts. The message was clear. The artifact was not just a key to the past but a key to the future. It had the power to either rebuild the universe or tear it apart. The ancients had left it for a reason, for those worthy enough to wield its power, for those who could restore the balance they had lost. The weight of the decision fell upon Zora and her crew. They were not just explorers now, they were the keepers of the universe's future. Zora turned to her crew, her voice filled with resolve. "We have to choose. We must restore the balance and ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated." Her crew stood behind her, each of them understanding the gravity of the situation. They had come so far, but now they stood at the crossroads of destiny. The universe's fate rested in their hands. With a final glance at the glowing altar, Zora stepped forward and pressed the artifact into the center of the stone. The moment it made contact, a brilliant light filled the temple, blinding them all. The air crackled with energy as the very fabric of space seemed to bend and shift around them. Then, just as quickly as it had started, the light faded. The hum of the artifact quieted, and the temple became still. But the change was palpable. The energy that had once been chaotic and unpredictable was now calm, harmonious, as if the very universe itself had taken a deep breath. The explorers looked around them, stunned. The vision had been a warning, but also a hope. The ancients had created the artifact not as a weapon, but as a tool to heal the universe, to restore the balance that had been lost. Zora turned to her crew, a look of triumph and peace on her face. "We did it. We've restored balance. The universe will thrive again." As they made their way back to the ship, the once dying planet now seemed alive with possibility. The sky was filled with stars, brighter and more vibrant than they had ever been. The universe, once teetering on the edge of destruction, had been given a new chance. A chance to rebuild, to grow, and to evolve. The echo of time lifted off from the surface of the ancient world, leaving behind a planet that was now a beacon of hope in the cosmos. The explorers, having completed their mission, looked ahead to the future with a sense of fulfillment and peace. The ancient race had fallen, but their legacy had not been forgotten. The knowledge they had left behind would guide the universe toward a new dawn, one of balance, growth, and understanding. And as the stars sparkled in the distance, The crew of the Echo of Time knew that their adventure was far from over. The universe was vast, full of mysteries yet to be uncovered, and they would be the ones to explore them. For the balance had been restored, and the future was bright.
Hey there. If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our exciting adventures.